Good morning, Sava here from Sava Talks Football alongside Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. Henry, what a start to the day. So far today, Danny Ings has signed for West Ham.
For, was it 15 million?
£15 million. Danny Ings.
Absolute steal. And then
15 million.
And then Trossard is he's about to join Arsenal, and our £12 million bid was laughed at. And they've practically wrapped it up today, and they're now even saying he might even be in the squad to face United.
30 million they paid. We paid 12. We offered 12 million, and people wonder why we cannot get players over the line. On top of that, Chelsea are deep in negotiations for Moises Caicedo of Brighton.
Apparently, he's only on something like $3,000 a week as well, which is peanuts. You think if they get him, and Brighton get a let go Trossard, and they've brought in a couple of players, their recruitment is miles better than ours.
Absolutely.
Brighton. And we've just broken a record from what I can't remember the site was. We've just done 523 million last year, and 270 million of that is profit.
Let's continue looking at. So our loan bid has been rejected, Henry, for Zaniolo of Roma. Apparently, they want 35 million up front.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, right? All these reports have just come out that we've just broken a revenue record. So why are we going in for loans? This just tells me Conte's not signing.
Right.
And if the player works out, then we'll make a permanent signing in the summer. But then in the summer, we've got to pay 40 million for Kulu as well.
Yep.
And that would probably be 40 million for Zaniolo.
Yep.
So that's 80 million of our budget gone on two players that we should have already bought.
So that's Zaniolo that we can't get over the line. That's Trossard, who we've now lost out to the Gooners down the road. Pedro Porro.
Yeah.
Pay the fee, they've said. They've said it, haven't they? Pay the fee, get the player, and we're still haggling for a...
What do they want? 45 million euros, and we offered 35 million and either Tanganga or Sanchez. It was one of those. I think it's going to be Sanchez because Tanganga is English, obviously the home-grown thing, but we paid 40 odd million for Sanchez, and we're letting them go for practically, 10 million?
Yep. You've got Wolves, who have spent near on £80 million this window. You've got Aston Villa, who have signed Moreno from Real Betis, left back stroke left wing back. You've got Liverpool, who have signed Cody Gakpo for 45 million.
Leeds as well.
Leeds have just signed a striker, which is a club record transfer, and they've managed to, I've just seen in the last hour, they've just wrapped up that, is it Gnotto?
Yeah.
For 3.5 million.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest has spent a few quid as well.
Nottingham Forest are signing players. Let's be really, really honest, Henry. It's an absolute shit show, isn't it?
To be honest with you, at the moment, there's no plan, no identity. We've been saying this for years on years on years, and we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
We're not getting anywhere at all. All the stuff yesterday coming out of Harry Kane, is he leaving? Who's going to be the replacement? For me, I think if we bring in Zaniolo and you're saying our front four could be Zaniolo, Richarlison, Son and Kulu, that's not a bad front four, but none of those players are going to play the way you want to under Conte.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost feels like it's chicken and egg. It feels like they don't want to sign players because I think they know Conte is not going to be here next year and it will be a different formation. Then you've got the people saying, well, hang on, you should just be buying good players for the club anyway. And look, I agree.
Yeah.
But again, the whole thing is a mess. And this is why, Henry, I've said time and time again, the whole thing needs a reset. Forget Conte in, Conte out. Forget Paratici in, Paratici out. Leave it the whole...
Where is Paratici? He's not even around.
Not seen him. You just told me he was in Portugal.
Yeah, well, apparently he's in Portugal trying to sort out Pedro Porro. If we sign Pedro Porro, so that's 40 odd million or whatever, our fans are going to be, clapping, and yeah, it might be a good signing, but it's still not enough.
No, one right wing back doesn't do anything. For me, this window, more than anything, you needed a centre half and a right wing back as a bare minimum. It absolutely had to have that. Look, I'm going to wrap it up there, but what I will say is this. If this hasn't turned fans' heads, Henry, that weren't Enic and Levy out, nothing ever will it? Because before this window, before the last window, there were talks of let's wait and see. Now we've got the revenue. Now we've got the manager and the Champions League and the stadium. What are the excuses now?
Well, it's January. It's a tough window. People are now telling me that Trossard, 30 million's a lot for a player with only, 6 months or whatever it is, 18 months left on his contract, we were going mental for him. And now, because we're not getting him, automatically we assume that when we link with a player, they're fantastic. When we don't get a player, they're awful. People have got to wake up and realise that this ownership is awful. Catastrophically awful. We're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we lose Conte, who comes in? We lose Harry Kane, who comes in?
And look, absolutely, and off the back of what you just said, you just showed me something on Twitter. I won't say the name, but you've got somebody with plenty of thousands of followers saying, well, why would the owners pay 30 million for Trossard with 5 million left? And that sums up the fan base for me. This is why we'll never get the owners out through protesting. The big clubs go and get it done. You think Arsenal are worried about paying 30 million for Trossard? And listen, I'm not saying Henry, I'm not saying he was my number one target. But if the club have identified him as a target and then offer 12 million, we don't deserve European football. We don't deserve success.
You think now off the bench, so when Jesus comes back, they're going to have Nketiah and Trossard off the bench with Vieira, Marquinhos when he starts playing.
Yeah.
When Kane goes, Richarlison's going to be starting.
Smith Rowe.
Yeah, who's our option?
Mate, it's an absolute shambles. Look, all I want to say is this. Enic out, Levy out. If you are not Enic and Levy out, listen, I'm not going to call out any names. I'm not going to talk about individual channels. I don't think that's right. But come on, guys, surely now we all unite and do something, because this is now getting really, really embarrassing. Even now, if they make a couple of loan signings, it doesn't change anything for me. Nothing changes for me. These owners have to go. Any last words, Henry?
I think you just hit the nail on the head, and we've got City tonight as well. So we might be, well, if we lose, we've got City and then Fulham. If we lose both of those games and teams around us pick up points, we're going to be sitting 7th or 8th in the league, and that's when he'll see us falling further and further away from the Champions League.
Yep.
And the pound signs start flashing in his ears and his eyes, and he'll pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll beat City tonight?
Absolutely not. I think, listen, I'll tell you what, if I'm Pep Guardiola, the last thing I say in the dressing room is, lads, it's Tottenham. Anyway, Henry and I will be live tonight on my channel at 5 p.m. Come and join us for a pre-match show, 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. We'll be talking about all of these signings for other clubs, the lack of signings for Spurs, pre-match build-up. Then we'll be jumping straight onto a watch-along for Henry Wright. And then also on Henry Wright's channel will be an instant match reaction show where I will join Henry. I believe Stell will be joining Henry. I'm sure there'll be a lot of, if we win, great. If we lose, I'm sure it'll be very toxic as always. So join us then. Much love. Henry, see you tonight. Take care, guys. And Enic and Levy
out.
Out.